Did get it? Try it again. Short intro. Short intro. Okay, I'm stepping in for Mr. Grey, AK Paul, to cover more UFO topics and videos. So, not too sure how many are going to join us. Anyone out there? It's a wee bit of lag here, so. Welcome to the Secure Team AT channel live 4. UFO vids galore. Okay, that's what it rhymes. I like it. So I'm trying a new clean desktop here. Looks like one of my panels is down. And everything should be looking alright here. My name is Mr. Kin. I bring you the best videos. No one else does. Yeah. Let's see, what should we call this one? Tyliar, Mr. Kin. Live stream. Why if I just call it live 4? I'll just make a folder for any files we make today. Yeah. It's got wider, I think. So scale that up. Okay, what's new out there? Lots of stuff. So let's have a look at my Twitter page. Actually, we'll look at Scott's. Okay, so what's the most noise out there at the moment? And it's this one here. I don't think they have an answer for it though. I think I might have more clues. About the alleged UFO filmed in Germany from a plane. Suggest you read the thread with interest in information about possible explanations. Okay, we'll just open that up. Now it's MetaBunk. Okay, let's have a look at the video. Make sure there's no sound. We got done for a copyright claim again. So are we looking at some sort of cloud? Ice crystals? Rotating? Moving? Reflecting the sunlight? They're saying it's a critter. And that's just nonsense. Angels or gods in the sky. They'll be saying it's a false, fake alien version. Is it repeating? Yep. So, I'm pretty sure I've seen this before. And it's some sort of camera artifact where there's moisture or ice crystal moisture on the inside of the camera. On one of the lenses. And it's belted, right? And it's gonna create this long streak pattern. And we might better find examples online. Kind of almost looks like it's a bit of sheet plastic warping. Often you get the weather balloons, right? But it doesn't start off the right shape. So we never see where it finishes up though. Why is it sort of end and then repeat? Weird. The explanation is weird. Not so weird, I think. I think they're right. A star planet taken through airplane window. Also, a droplet on the window can cause similar effect. That's true. Alright. Let's see. This is not a very good example. Let's see if we can find our main solution for it. There's put his comments there. Okay, so what were they saying over here? Shape changing light from plane. Polarized filter and lens. And Venus. Okay, what is this one? This is obviously a planet. Oh no. That's the original again. We've just seen that. That doesn't end though, does it? Now what's this at the end? Maybe he does change it. Why has it suddenly got dark? It's like two videos joined together. Let's have a look. So it could be a bright light source. And they zoom in on it. But it's got to have some sort of ice crystal moisture on one of the lenses inside the camera to do this. I guess that's the maximum optical zoom on the P900, I mean. So normally when it's out of focus, you get the ring pattern happening. But this is different. I don't think it's on the outside or inside of one of the panels on the plane with the filming through. Could he have got his camera out of the bag, but it's sort of fogged over? Because it was in cold storage, and then it's suddenly in a hot cabin of a plane, and it would form some sort of moisture inside the camera. See, that almost looks like an ice crystal. But the UFO people, let's say it looks like an alien with many arms. An octoboy. And what's this one here? Wave-like pattern. That would have to be done with motion, a long exposure. Just move it slightly as you're trying to film it through atmospherics. Possible someone is deliberately introducing the distortion of something on the filter, like water droplets. I think that's probably closer to the truth. All seeing eye. stars from a plane windows. They all get similar weird effects. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Those can be seen. Okay. Alright, so he's filming it through the window of a plane, and he's zooming in. Let's get that spider web effect. So that was a star. This sort of looks similar, doesn't it? So obviously the star's not going to be bright enough. So Venus was picked because it was the brightest in the sky, and obviously a lot bigger. So that's a fairly good comparison there. To some of his footage anyway. So does that look like Venus? It's certainly bright. You can see atmospherics even there. It's really tricky. But it's not aliens. Some sort of camera artifact he's doing. Could it be an icy lens? Where it's sort of heating up slowly. I haven't got a camera, so I can't. I haven't got a Peking 1000 or 900 to be able to play around with it. See if I can duplicate it, but these guys are trying to do it. To explain it. So how could that be Venus? So yeah, it just shows what filming through windows can do. Multiple panes. And you talk about the space station, all those artifacts they get. This one almost looks like a drop of water running down the lens. Inside, not on the outside. So it gives a different effect. P900 Venus. Fell from a plane. So someone's tried it. He's having trouble keeping steady on it. So we've got atmospherics. And at the altitude you've probably got ice crystal on the atmosphere. course, you're moving pretty fast to the angle of the star all the time. So is that atmospherics or camera artifact? It's very hard to tell. You can see how that could be misleading to people that are zooming in. But if it was like that when you see it with your eyes, that would really have you baffled. But before it's only coming out on camera, means is a bit suspect. What we're seeing is not really what it's meant to be. Looks more like the light of Venus refracted by some high out of the atmosphere. Well, I'd have to agree that one did. Unlike the change in shape one, which seemed to be more moisture related on the lens side of things. Okay, the denser part of the atmosphere is only 10 miles thick. Various guesses, the plane is constantly moving. Okay, that's what I just said. So that's going to affect it. So Venus, horizontally or subhorizontally, on my airplane. Plus we're going through a grittier window. Could this explain optical effect of moving plane? Atmospheric refraction. I think he's on the right track, this guy. It's taken through a plane window, 2 layers thick, slightly concaved. It's going to have some impact on the quality of the image. How'd you say that word? Estimatism. Yeah. I wonder if we can look it up with that Google Translate. Search for that, so see what happens. Make it easy. Okay, it's part of the high problem you get. Common and generally treatable imperfection in the curvature of your eye. So if you had a window that's curved, it would be like the same effect. Yes, okay, let's have a look. You're getting smears. That one there. I understand what it's doing. Okay, it's creating a double image which is what you get with cataracts. Okay. Now we can understand what that's doing now. Distortions, misfocus, then you get something from a diamond, equally out of focus in both directions, a barbell. Alright, so I think that's probably the best explanation. A combination of atmospherics, curvature of the two planes in the window, jet window, and maybe the way it's zooming in on the P900. Looks like it's repeatable anyway. Let's see, we talked about the inside being very cold of the camera, and whether it formed ice crystal on one of the lenses. Ice crystal formation. Hey, how's it going, Michael? I see you too. My name is Ken. What's your name, Michael? Ice crystal formation. Internal P900 images. See if anything pops up. Okay, what have we got here? Okay, it looks very similar to the patterns of... There we go. Rippling orb effect. Taking photos of Venus. Aha! So there we go, we've got the bright light source, and we get these funny rippling effects. But is that internal on the camera? Rippling orb. So open that one up. So understanding the camera allows us to understand what we're seeing better. And we can eliminate it being something paranormal or alien. Hey, he loves our videos. Well, someone loves us. Hopefully you learn something with us, because we don't have all the answers, but we search it live, and I'm trying to understand it. Aha, so guess what? It goes back to debunk. So, this is another thing that he tried to prove. Certainly weird, isn't it? Ice crystals, water, forming distant bright little specks, and atmospherics. But I think that looks like it's talking about ice crystals in the atmosphere. I was trying to find any examples from internal camera fogging. Okay. There might be something here somewhere. Ice crystal fog camera effect. I'm pretty sure I've seen the angel effect before. Oh, what's happened? Do we get a sudden CPU peak? Let me just Are we back? A little bit better. You just have to keep an eye on that. My laptop needs a few more cores in it. It's underpowered. Especially when I zoom in and all that. Yeah, it's ice crystal fog camera. Yeah, we got something popping up here. Nice fog, no. Low light with metric fog. Help me with this artifact. Precipitation. So that could be what's happening. He's got a ice crystal form on the lens, and he's zooming in, and it's gradually heating up. I think it's going to, what do you call it, shriek? Streak. And it formed those two peaks, like angel wings. It's a shame I can't find another example. Angel wings. No, not those ones. Camera artifact reset there. So I put it in quotes. What do we got here? Nothing. But moths. Moths into bugs. 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 Oh well, I'll keep on moving. Now let's talk about mathematics and angles. And they're going into the deep end. Okay, now they're looking at plane windows. Affects the focus. Okay, so how many layers is it? Is it scratch pane? Breather hole? Middle window pane? Combined sill? Outer window pane? So there's two glass windows and this scratch pane. There's probably a bit of plastic perspex, and that would be inside the cabin. And these other windows obviously got sills, right? Not as bad as Space Station, with their 4 panes, which are like 3/4 inch thick. Looking at the video. Okay. Now he's talking about all the lenses inside the P900. It's not just one lens, you see. So this is what I'm saying. That there could be some ice crystal form because it's been in storage. And somehow it's distorting the image as well. So maybe you got three things happening. Atmospherics of the light of the Venus in the daytime. And then you got the playing window with its curvature. And you might have some moisture ice crystal forming inside the camera for a wee while before it evaporates or whatever. So that's my best explanation for it. And that's all they've got too. So I'll just put those links on the side. Need a BUNK on Venus or atmospherics and playing windows. Is it going? Yep. That's all the technical side of it. What did we get to on this one? And it's got Brando's post on it. It's got the nice little video there. So what we've seen is other videos of people filming Venus at night time through playing windows, and it looked like this here, stretched out, and they zoomed in. And so yeah, it forms all these weird shapes. But why is it moving around so much, you see? Like he's changing the angle of the lens to the window. And here's that angel thing happening. Anyway, that's interesting. And it's another thing people can fool us with. Angel, Rotor, Germany. So what else we got to look at here? There's probably plenty. Probably only got 2 hours here. So we keep an eye on the time. So what else got that we haven't seen already? Alleged UFOs, Rotor, Kite, 1979 video. Daytime, daylight UFOs at a football game. Oh yeah. Little like rotor kites. Could be butterflies though. They do get really good clear zoom in there. Almost looks like flapping wings. Wouldn't have said they were UFOs. They look pretty small. I don't know if they're insects. They seem to have some geometry in it. Yeah, let's look at a rotor kite. Rotor kite. Okay. So we've probably got various ones here. Also called a gyro kite. Gyro. Oh right, these ones. Like wind chimes. Looks like this weird one, so here we go. How do they fly? Wind, obviously. What produces the lift? Rotor kites are really difficult. They make different to any other sort of flying kite. Basically, instead of using a fixed wing, rotating one generates a horizontal vortex, which slows the wind underneath and it speeds up over top, thus generating a slight lift. Okay. Maybe a little tiny drawing for it. How silly. Yeah, it is here. Okay, that's easier. Okay, so it's rotating around the ring. So it's a wee bit like a propeller then. How to build the big rotor kite. An even bigger one. Cylinder one. It's all sights on, isn't there? I mean types. Not sights. What's happened there? He's in trouble. Crashed into a rotor kite. Going down. Yeah, obviously some videos of these things. There's a quick look. We'll quickly watch the sun. I suppose they can get up quite high. Two together. Okay. Okay, what's going into my audio? At all. It's corrupting my audio again. It's funny how it corrupts when you play certain videos. Let's see how it hangs. Oh, yep. Oh no, it's going bad again. How silly. Uh, I never thought. Okay, let's have a look at the next video. Light whirlwind. Is it not playing? So does it look like the ones far away here? Does sort of, doesn't it? But I think they're the other ones that were like ones like this, but the two circles. Yeah, I don't know if we got any here. That one looks like the cylinder. No, it's not the right one. No, it's this one here. They call it the spinner kite. Or spinning kite. This is probably the one. Oh, there you go. Quite looks like flipping wings from a distance. So, Indian guy. Showing how he makes it. A little bit of number fencing wire. Number 8 probably. Number 8 fencing wire. Cloth. Spins around on the end bits. Looks complicated. And looks like it's flipping. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, I think Scott's probably right. And when they go to that mode there, you can see the outer ring and the middle ring, and it doesn't look like butterflies anymore. I think it was enough zoom in slow motion. Okay, what's next here? Mothership. I see the moon filtered by a cloud. Yeah, I kind of see that too. Could it be a full streak hole as well? Certainly seems thicker cloud in the middle. Or hole. It's pretty cool. I don't know, I got the crackle going heavy. Why? Let me see how I can fix that. Hello, hello. Is that better? Windows is terrible. Yes, we'll just try that. I'll just save the settings too. I don't have to keep redoing it. But it's a good test, I guess. Cool. Okay, we're back. I just had to reset. There's always little technical problems. Yeah, it's looking better now. Maybe it's sounding better too. More clear. My voice. Maybe that's what's been wrong with the setup here. So we'll just test that, see if it crackles. It probably will. We don't have much luck around here. Okay. Okay, we looked at this one last time. I think it was bodysuit. Someone close to the camera coming down. Okay, we need to mute that. Did we miss it? Oh, there it is. You can see it looks like a man in a suit coming to land at the airport. They released the parachutes at the last minute. Paraglide. So it only looks like it's near the plane. Don't think it's CGI. But some people said the plane looks a bit suspect. Could it be the plane's been added in? So, oh, why is it unmuted? Is that a Learjet? A small Learjet? Looks like it's got engines though. It looks like a Learjet though. So it kind of looks like a wingsuit here. So you can see the legs are spread out. And they've got their arms next to the body. Looks like it could be propeller. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 engines. Small white plane. Let's have a look. Doesn't look like a jet though. Is that the type of plane that would jump from? Propeller. More white plane. 4 props. Okay. I don't think it looks like. Doesn't look like that. Okay. Right, Dan, how's it going? I miss your real voice. I miss Mr. Grey. Tyliar is hard to look at. Hey, I'm Tyliar. That other Tyliar is another guy. He just stole my identity. Yeah, so it's not that one. That's a weird looking one. They look like the planes that skydivers would jump out of though. That's a single prop though. But if you've got like 10 flying suit guys jumping out the back, you're gonna need the next size plane up. Yeah, Mr. Grey was on a previous episode, wasn't he? I think he was. That search didn't really work out. Try small. White plane. Or propellers. Lures? Or propellers. Google clicked it. That one's got 2 engines. We definitely said 4 there. What's 7 now? I didn't click that. But we have debunked that one before. Okay, here's one with 4 engines. So it could be something like that. Line in that video. And maybe it's something to do with the skydiver or the flying suit guy. I know we got these type of planes in New Zealand still. I think they're pretty efficient and can carry up to 50 passengers. probably don't make them anymore, like they say. Jets are the way. Let's see, flying suit, plane jump. See what we can find. Okay, so that looks like a 2-engine one. But you can see how that looked like the image, but the guy had his arms next to him as he was sort of accelerating. Okay, so I think we're sort of done with that one. And there's one of the planes that jumped from. That looks like a Cessna or something, doesn't it? Yeah. That could be a Cessna, can it? Anyway, it's a small plane, white plane. Here's one here. Single propeller. Okay, now this looks more like what we're looking for. And the picture's too small there, damn. I can't see the engines. Oh, look at all those. Two engines. Aha, here we go. What's that one there? Jetman rides along a B-17. Could that be a B-17? Maybe it's from the same footage. Does that look like a B-17? I suppose it could be a jet one. The white bits here on this frame here, that looks the most clearest we've got off the plane. Could be prop, but could be jet. Anyway, not a UFO. And all the 4 channels put it up. Tyliar and third phase of the moon. So I think we're done with Scott. And we'll look at the other stuff. Let's try my real voice.
What's up, guys? It's teeny childish. What was the other voice that sounded good here? I think it was child. Just to have a look. What's up, guys? Oh yeah, it's not too bad. There was another one too. I was still playing around with it. The names and voices have changed to protect the innocent. Let's see. Tiny folks. What's up, guys? That sounds like everyone. Mutant female. Oh, that's terrible. Child. Hell demons.
What's up, guys? It sounds like you're Mr. Keen in the dungeon. There was another good one here, but I can't remember what it was now.
What's up, guys? That's too much like me. Alien, nope.
Looks female. What's up, guys? It's not too bad. Wild female. Squirrel, no. Angel. I don't sound like a female. So, she's got a croaky voice, I think. Yeah. No, that wasn't the good ones. Cyborg.
What's up, guys? That's not too bad. That sounds equally. Whiny Squire.
Oh, whiny! It sounds like it too. Warrior princess, I think I might. Alright. What's up, guys? I'm Tyler. No, I don't know. Back to Mr. King.
What's up, guys? I think that's got to be the clearest. What's Dan saying? Oh. Request, what information do you have on Thomas Colman Sheppard? Claim to have seen government secret information. Now, the name doesn't ring any bells. Claims that he saw photographic evidence of EBEs. He never signed a non-disclosure. Is that likely to happen, though? If you see something, they're going to make you sign something, right? But it doesn't sort of add up. They're not going to let someone go unless they put them to the test. So that we always used to use that excuse for Bob Lazar, right? That they gave him a booklet with misinformation and used him to spread out the information to the media. But if that was the case, why did he only go to the media when he was caught sky watching with his mates and not sooner? Now, why didn't he go to nap before he got caught by the security guard? You see what I mean? Bob Lazar obviously went to the media because he knew he was in the crap. Because he broke his NDA. Because he had like desert parties watching them do experiments. of whatever they were doing. So he made it into UFOs, but it may have been some like experiment with a drone, firing plasma lasers, or because you don't normally see the beam, right? When you fire a laser, unless you've got a lot of atmospherics. So yeah, there's too much wrong with Bob Lazar, and the story of S4 and all that. Because that location is fairly toxic, I believe, and it floods, and because they did some nuclear testing out there, and there's meant to be some background radiation, which is lethal. But we've been through all that before, and alien scientists put up a website on it. So, yeah, this guy here, see if I can find some information on him. Sort of rings a bell. And as soon as you hear citizens hearing, anything to do with Greer, is instantly suspect in my book. Because he had a lot of frauds on his, deathbed confessions and whatever. I know your question wasn't about Lizzo. I was doing a comparison. There's Linda. Sheppard was told information was kept under wraps all these years because the public would be too shocked to accept the truth. I'd say only a fraction of the population would be, the more religious types. But the more scientific types would be accepting of other life. That would be too disruptive to religion. So that's the whole thing here. I think religion has got a lot to answer for. It's always slowed down science development, and all this, I don't know, faith and believing what's been told to you or handed down, and not to question it is nonsense. We've got to question everything, even science. Science conclusions may be wrong. How does that make How does that make you feel as an American? I think the public should be given the truth. And that's all there is to it. Enough is enough. For years I understood the need for secrecy, but I can't accept it anymore. Well, it does make sense. And he does seem to come across as a believable witness there, right? But there's no evidence of what to back up his claim. Here he is here, being interviewed. Is that for the disclosure though? $20,000 views. I think I've seen it before.
And it's a small room, and it's got the filing cabinets and the safes, and it's got a table right there in the middle of the vault. The table's about the size of this, but square and taller. And on that table, he had this file laid out, and this file was, I mean, it was like all spread out on the table here, okay? And it had photographs and documents and the covers and everything. And he said, this is what it's all about, and he handed me one of the photographs. And I looked at it, and I had no idea what I was looking at. It was an old black and white photograph. It had a old truck in it, and down on the ground, and you could tell they were out in the desert, was some sort of a creature. Right? Looked like, well, what I would call now an alien creature. I had no idea what I was looking at back then, so I said to Howard, well, what am I looking at here? He goes, well, what do you think? I said, I don't know. He says, it's an alien creature from outer space, you big dummy. And I go, no, it is not. And he goes, oh, you're looking right at one of these, and you still can't believe it? Won't believe it? That's incredible. So I looked at that photograph, and I looked at another photograph that had him laid out on a skid, and looked at two other photographs, and they had a very dark black background, and one of them was a headshot, and the other photograph was of it, an elongated shot on a type of gurney. And I looked at the documents, and there was a lot of red ink, top secret. One of the words was magic, and magic was spelt with a J. And I even made a comment to Howard. I says, look at here, they can't even spell magic right. They spelled it with a J. It just looked like an old file, but the gauge of the year would have to be from the 30s or the 40s, just based on the truck. The aliens sort of looked like that one down in the Roswell Museum, but different too.
I'm just looking at the body language here. Now, did he look convincing when he was telling it? It's not the best quality video, is it? I'm not sure if there's a better one that's HD. What's it set to? Auto. So it only goes up to 360p. Not good enough to better look at the eye movement there. It was a bit blurry. But it looks like he was not recalling from memory where you tend to look up, but it was a bit hard to see in that video. He was doing a lot of left and right, which means storytelling, and looking down, there's internal dialogue. And normally if it's just left and right, eye movement and looking down, it might be because they've told the story so much, they're just repeating it. And not having to think and look up into memory. So it's up to the interviewer to get some really hard questions that's not been asked before, and see if he goes to memory recall. Unfortunately, we don't have these people come to our channel for interviews, but we can then check them out a bit better. But is he still alive, this guy? 2030, he must be, eh? So this is Linda Howe, played on Douglasville Hall, with 40 subs. Yeah, so, do we get a closer up of them? Here we go.
But you could tell that they just looked like bumps.
Yeah, so that's better. If we can keep that, you can see if he looks more honest. We'll just do a few frames and just watch what happens. Now he's shaking his head quite a bit now. We'll go back and re-listen. I wonder if we can put captions up. Like bumps? Who knows what they were? Now, what do you call that expression there? Who knows what they were? Now he's looking down, internal dialogue, and it was throughout. Okay, so is he sort of looking up there? No, then suddenly he's looking down. And that's looking real down. Remember, being recall is normally this side. And this over here is if we're looking upwards, normally they say that's making a story up. There is normally making up reactions. And looking down is trying to do something with emotions. What was that chart? It's called NPL. No, NLP, is it? Linguistic Programming. Eyes. Here we go. Okay. Visualizing, constructing line. Alright, audio is in the middle. And kinesthetic, electric, checking out feelings. Okay, so he's looking at his feelings. Have an internal dialogue. So that's looking down to the right. But what's looking down straight then? That's got to be internal. Orderly remembering images. So how does that compare? Well, how are we going for time anyway? 1:25. Oh yeah, I've got to get going soon. We never complete everything in a time. Am I inclined to believe him since there's no reason for him to lie? He's not written a book. Doesn't have financial incentive. Why can't afford? Maybe I just want to believe. Well, some people like attention. Right? Attention seekers. You might recall Shelley on our group. She was an attention seeker. Always drama. So let's just keep on going. So what did we work out? He's thinking of feelings. And was throughout. So what's he going to say here?
Mostly like on the arm.
Okay, now he's looking at his arm. That sort of changes the eye movement, doesn't it? Because he's looking at trying to explain it with his limb.
Arm area and on the head area.
And was this being wearing any clothes?
No, you could tell.
No. Okay, so let's just zoom back out there and let's change angles.
And here are some renditions of drawings that I made of the photographs that I saw in Okinawa. And what you have here is a desert and the alien entity. Here's the guy in the jeans and the cowboy boots. Here's the truck. And here's the entity in the truck looking out. And in the actual photograph, though, you could barely make him out because of the angle of the sun and what it was doing from the slats to him. So I had to actually have this pointed out to me. This is what we call photograph number 1. This is another rendition. This is at the aircraft hangar. Okay. Pretty much, this is really a rendition because of the angle at all. I really am not an artist, okay, so I couldn't really draw it to the right angle. But over here is the military man in his khaki pants, his brown shoes, and this is the front of the aircraft hangar. This is the opening here. And I tried to, what really stood out for me in this photograph was the angle of the slants from the panes of the windows from the hangar, of the style of hangar that it was. Mm-hmm. And here's the alien that's mostly intact, and next to him, or it, is the other alien that was crumpling in a fetal position, and most of its side had been badly damaged. And here's the alien that's next to it, and I tried to make a rendition here of the crumpling and everything, but I didn't do a good job, really. But most of its head, as I recall, was badly damaged either through charring of some sort or other damage.
And burned.
Or burned, yeah. Okay. And here's another rendition. Now in the photograph, this is of course all black, okay? But what you're seeing is where the flash took the photograph of what you can see here, and it's a gurney in an elongated fashion, okay? And the alien entity laying on top of the gurney. And there you have it. And evidently in the same space, they took a close-up of the alien's head from the neck on up with the same black background. And here it is, as I best recall. I tried to get
Got little tiny eyes though, hasn't it? So what do you think to that?
It's best to make it look
Doesn't have the really big eyes, which most abductees talk about.
look as real as I could by not giving too much detail with the eyes. But the eyes, the sockets are very almond shaped, and they're fatter up here and they skinny down. Okay, they're fatter here and they skinny down. And the blotting I'm trying to describe here, okay?
Okay, the eyes are not what he's describing though. He's not a really good drawer.
It looks sort of, well, veiny, I guess you could say, or just bumps. And that was the best I could describe it here.
I see. So, here's the outline of the eye here. Looks like he's put a pupil or something. And we know the aliens don't have pupils. The bumps, and that was the best I can do. What, these are little bumps? What was he saying?
Reminded you of reptilian.
Yeah, you could tell that it was sort of reptilian-ish, but at the same time, no, you really couldn't because of the black and white photo, okay? I do recall that its neck was... and
So that's a wee bit strange. He's saying yeah, and then he's contradicting himself.
comparison to its head, really this skinny, and it had a lot of wrinkles.
As if it were.
Now, if he said it was like elephant skin, that's the general description of the type of skin they have. But, generally they have like one-piece suits, so you wouldn't normally see the skin, not with the arms, but you might see it on the neck, I guess.
Old,
No, as if it was just the way it was, the way it was.
but did that remind
See, the wrinkles does sort of match elephant skin there. So far he seems to be more credible, like you say, to what we know is. So what year did he see the sighting? It doesn't say here, does it? But the interview was 2013.
you also of a reptile?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I tried to make a description of how long its fingers are and in comparison to its wrist. Mm-hmm. This is a better drawing, okay, of its hand, palm in this fashion, all right, without a thumb. If it had a thumb, it was just sort of a nib.
Well, if he's been out once, he may have had the hard word put on him. Like, to shut up and go away. Or they'll hurt their family or whatever. The Men in Black thing, you know. How many fingers has he got there? Looks like 4. And no thumb. But then he's talked about thumb, and the head of thumb was sort of a nub. Alright, okay. Interesting. Does sound like an alien grey though, doesn't it? So far.
Looking thing here.
But he could have looked all that. He could have looked all that up.
And it did have these slanted tip fingertips, and on the tips, you could tell it was sort of a roundness, or what I call a suction cup.
Now, the suction cup Doesn't sound right. It's not like they're going to go sucker up the wall. You know, like Spider-Man. What are you saying? Never seen an EBE. I don't think it's got N on the end, I just call it EBE. Alright, with dots in between. Extraterrestrial biological entity. I've never seen it spelled with the N before. I've tried to discredit his statements. Don't know, he's looking down a lot.
Linda, there is nothing on this earth that we know of that looks anything like this. It's not a human being. I'm telling you straight up. It wasn't a monkey. It wasn't an animal of any kind. It was like nothing that I had ever seen, and that's all I could say. It was definitely not a human. It was definitely not an animal that we know of.
What emotion did you?
So he's shaking his head there when he's saying, it's not this, not this. So that sort of confirms that he is telling the truth there. Often you'll get people nodding when they're saying not this, and you know they're lying.
You feel?
I was in shock. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I didn't want to believe it. I couldn't even accept it at the time. It took hours for me to even accept what I had saw. Even with a guy that was older than me that was telling me, look at what you're looking at here, okay? These were not fakes. This was real stuff. I was over.
See, he's never looked upwards, right, to retrieve information. It's like he's got the story already sorted out. When she asked him this, I don't think I saw him look up.
Can I say? I mean, I didn't want.
Okay, what was he doing there with the eyes?
I mean, what can I say?
He was looking down on the feeling side.
I mean, I didn't want to believe it. I couldn't even accept it at the time. It took hours for me to even accept what I had saw. Even with a guy that was older than me that was telling me, look at what you're looking at here, okay? These were not fakes. This was real stuff. I was overwhelmed.
Next slide.
What was all that?
Can you re-rack?
And tell me what you know about.
So she didn't ask him any really hard questions or something different where he's got to go memory recall. Now, you know what I mean? So we need to see more video of him in his normal environment discussing other things to see how his body language works. And then you use that as a base to, if he's telling lies, it's going to deviate from his base. So you probably have to do a lot more research on this guy and find interviews where they're not talking about the alien. Are we back? Are we back? We're being sabotaged. Men in Black are going, trust you, Dan. You brought up a topic that they don't like me talking about. So I'm not sure how much I was missing. But we're looking at his comment about what his commanders said. So we'll just go over that again. So he was doing some audio recall and have an internal dialogue of remembering what was said. So here he comes across very credible, because you'll see him looking this way and down.
Don't you ever bring that up to me again.
Just go back a bit.
He backed out.
So I'm not too sure why we lost connection there. We've never had that for at least a year. I think this guy you brought up, Dan, maybe they don't like me talking about it, or you talking about it. So let's just watch his body language here.
So I came up to him on the day he was leaving. He was in his uniform. And I said, Howard.
Okay, so he's looking up feelings.
You know, what gives, man? Yeah, life is good. You made second class. Why are you getting out? And he said, Tom, I just can't do it no more. I said, does it have anything to do with, and he said, the vault, you know, what we saw in that.
Okay, so he's going to, what did we say it was? Looking left, straight, is remember what was said, and looking down, what was it? Okay. Internal dialogue, yeah. So he's remembering what was said.
And he looked at me, and he got beet red, and he was shaking his finger at me, and he said, don't you ever bring that up to me again. And that was the last thing I ever heard from him. And I haven't seen him in over 30 years now.
Did you take it from that comment that he had been punished because of the vault incident?
I believe that, well, it's either one of two things. I think they jacked with him myself.
Okay, so he did a lot of a left looking then. So he was thinking how to answer it from memory. So he's becoming, but to me it looks like it's credible what he's saying here.
I think they gave him threats, but it could have been just that he knew a truth, and it wasn't gonna go anywhere, and he didn't like that.
Were you asked to sign any kind of a non-disclosure agreement?
No, never. Let's jump ahead to 1989. Unsolved Mysteries comes on TV, and it was a popular show then.
So the commander didn't want to put an NDA on him because it was like a private chat. So that sort of makes sense, doesn't it? It's not like other people are listening in, by the sounds of it. Else the commander would have had to get the paperwork out. But now he's come on to this disclosure stuff. This guy's probably going to disappear. So, was this the last interview? Do you know? Also, thanks for looking. Okay, into the guy. Yep. I'll just zoom into what you said there. Hopefully we don't lose data connection. That was really weird. It's like we had internet outage. This is really weird. I've not had that for at least since before fiber. 5 years ago. Okay. You don't know? Okay. He'd be like a good one to re-interview and get higher quality on his body language, right? I think he's telling the truth by going by that eye chart there. Because this generally works. Doesn't work on everybody, but it's a bit more complicated. If you watch the behaviour panel, one of the guys is into all this, but he talks about getting baselines. But he was talking about his transfer there, and he definitely looked up into memory recall, so it sort of fit in the chart.
And one night they played, Robert Stack hosting, the Roswell incident. And I had no idea at the time that this was in books or had already been talked about. I was literally blown away. And I thought to myself, well, you know, national TV is going to come out and...
You saw him do a long look this way. So he's trying to remember what was said.
Blasted all over the place. What's to stop me? So at the time, I worked at a 3-star command there in Norfolk. It was ComNav Airland. And I worked for the operations department. It's Code 30, and one of the people in Code 30 was a man named Captain Wood. And he had a person that worked for him who was a lieutenant commander, and I don't remember his last name. But one day, it was shortly after this was played on TV, the Roswell incident on Unsolved Mysteries. The subject of ETs came up, and we were just talking, and even though I had been, well, I'd run into a lot of trouble in other commands. Not a lot of trouble, but, well, somewhat anyway, okay? We could get into that. But I had opened my mouth before, okay? And I was tired of keeping it closed. So I told this lieutenant commander who worked for Captain Wood what I knew. I told him the whole Okinawa story, and the file, and the photos, and the whole thing. And I thought the guy was going to have a heart attack. He went into shock. He got really angry. He wanted to tape record me. He started making threats on me. We got to sort of a heated argument. And he said that he was going to have to tell Captain Wood about this. So I said, fine, tell him. So a couple hours later.
Okay, so that checked out there. He was looking down to the right when he was talking about what they're going to do, you know, feelings and all that. Then he was looking over here, internal dialogue of what was said.
Captain Wood calls me in his office. He says, sit down. Heard you did some talking today. And I said, yes, sir, I sure did. You want to tell me what you told Lieutenant Commander down there? All right. So I told him the whole Okinawa story. And he said, all right. I'm pretty convinced that you saw what you saw. But just so you know, we don't call them aliens. I said, we don't? No. We call them EBEs, for extraterrestrial biological entities. I said, all right, well, that makes sense. Then we had a conversation, and it was basically like this. I asked him why we had kept this under wraps for all these years, and what did it have to do with the military and the whole thing. And he gave me some descriptions about it. Said that since that period of time and on up till, you know, present day, that...
You're talking about the 40s to 1990?
Yeah, the 40s to 1990.
Right.
Okay. that they had been using this, and it was all for good reasons.
They had been using what?
Well, you know, I've never really understood that either. They've been using the technology that the aliens gave them, or they've been using the crashed vehicles, even though he said that.
Okay. Look where he's looking. Memory recall.
Okay, it was just sort of inference that, yeah, the whole thing that we recovered, okay? So that's how I took it.
That our government was using.
Yes, what we had recovered.
For
Purposes of military advantage. I asked him if the president knew, and he said, can't go there. I asked him how this might have an effect on society and religion, and basically the whole thing was people couldn't handle it. That there'd be too much shock, and we've got to maintain this under wraps. It could be disruptive to society. It could be disruptive to the Bible. And so, you know, I asked him, I said, well, you know, look, yeah, you have the Bible, okay, but it's not like as if people aren't going to, you know, people are going to just quit believing in Jesus or anything, okay? Come on. I said, no, but, you know, this could open the door to several other things in the Bible that, you know, we wouldn't want, and religions to have to deal with, okay? It could just open a door to many things that would be so disruptive. We can't.
Okay, so he's doing a lot of looking over here, and down here. And also he does a bit down here. Lion would be more in that triangle up here. So I think he's telling the truth. And maybe you need to check out a few more interviews if you can find them. Unfortunately, I've got to get going now, so I've got dinner up. We almost got to the end of that interview there. We'll put up a link to it and see if you want to listen to it all going. What do we call it? Linda's interview to Leaker. I can't remember what his name was now. Thomas Sheppard. Now, I don't know if anyone else has done any checks on his story and found any inconsistencies, but this is a start, I guess. It's funny that we haven't heard much of him. And normally, people that go into all these conferences, right, and pushing books, like Travis, and you know what's going on there. He's not like that guy. Let's see, lawyer. Let's see what UFO. See, not many hits. That's a good thing. So we're going to just try different words in there. Oops. Not looking good. Coming up with the same ones. Man who tried to contact aliens from his grandmother's living room, is it? It wasn't Dr. Greer. Who is John Sheppard's true story? Okay, let's have a look at this one. Dedicated his life to contacting aliens. Now that's something new, isn't it? Netflix is releasing. So we got that documentary around. 20th of August, but when? What's this crap coming up here? What year? We got 2020. So this August. Last August, I mean. Netflix. So is that the same guy? Would there be two John Sheppards? We might have to use the middle name, I guess. We might have to look into that one. This documentary, see if we can find it. And see what it's about. I don't think it's the same guy. What do you reckon? No, alright, you reckon the same. Different guy. That's the problem. But that might be an interesting documentary though. Is that a pet Commodore he's got there? IBM, maybe? Yeah, probably have to put his last name in, probably. And that in quotes. Maybe man discloses EBD. EB. I mean EBE. Documents. That's gotta be him. UFOs, yeah. But the problem is when Linda Moulton Howe's involved, it puts a big suspect stamp on it that everybody seems to go to here if they're frauds, right? Or disinformation agents. So I think this will need another day or two to investigate it even more. Whether I can do that, I don't know. It looks like it's a lot of reading there, which I ain't got time at the moment. I'll just post a link to that, see if there's anything useful there above top secret. Oh, well, we've had the average of 2 people watching. And I might have to change the category of this one from it's got comedy. But it was a comedy of errors. Or technical problems. Researchgate. I better not keep on going. You know how long research takes. It just drags on. Oh, well, Dan, you sort of stopped where we were going to go today. I know Secure Team was putting out more moon photographs with stitching errors, you know, missing black boxes of data and all that. But yeah, it's pretty nonsense, isn't it? And third phase, let's just have a quick look. Okay, they're talking about the thing we just looked at on the first topic. And that Bigfoot, they're doing the Bigfoot thing. You can clearly see it's a man, probably in waders, carrying some bow and arrow, or maybe even a kill, or something he killed. And he's walking across the river. But anyway, I've got to get going, and we'll see if we can do another show in the weekend, and look at some other things, I guess. See what you can find out there. Join the Discord group and post your findings there for us to look at, and we can research it a bit better then. Anyway, I'm going to say goodnight and play the end credits now. Thanks for watching and joining us, people. And I think the audio is a wee bit better now. Mystican signing off. Yeah, I'll just close them down now. I thought that was a fairly good UFO topics we did tonight. Bit of science, camera artifacts, and a UFO leaker. Unfortunately, the guy from Australia is still putting off coming on, but his story sounded really crazy. But we'll see if he wants to join us sometime. Seems always busy. Oh, I better end.